I'm Deb Keyes, back with another Stamping 301 video for you. Lately, I have been using scraps with my DSP, and if you noticed, probably a couple weeks ago, it's been now, I posted a picture of me using DSP scraps. Well, I'm still on a DSP kick, if you will, Designer Series Paper, DSP. And before we get going, though, I wanted to just make you aware or remind you, if you will, that the January through April catalog is in full swing, and the celebration will be winding down at the end of this month. So make sure if you've got your eye on anything, you get in there and get it. Sometimes those things are all just as supplies last. So don't miss out. Let's swing down to... make sure I don't push the wrong button. So here are a couple of the cards that I shared in that other post, and this is DSP. I don't remember what DSP it is. Oh, it's the birthday one. Bright and what is it called? Hold on. It is, yep, don't remember. Bright and Beautiful? Something like, I think it's Bright and Beautiful. Anyway, so I use little scraps, you can see here, just scraps on a piece of white cardstock, and then, you know, just used it as kind of the background. And then this was just it was almost a full length piece, like a 2-inch piece that I had left from some other project, and I just cut the circle out of it and flipped it. So that's those. But so I have a couple other ones. We're going to be using Unbounded Love and the Melon Mambo ink. And these two dies are from Unbounded Love Bundle 2. So we'll be using those. I have a piece of, it's going to go this way. So it is 5.5 by 8.5, and it's still scored at 4 1/4 this way. So let's get that ready and set aside. I always like to get all my pieces ready and do all the stamping, and I don't do any gluing usually until last, unless it's necessary for something. So I have a piece here of Melon Mambo, and we're going to layer this. So the Melon Mambo is 4 3/8 by 4 7/8. And then my black is, that must be 3 3/8 by 4 7/8, because my black is 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. So that's about right. Okay. Then I've got a piece of DSP, and the DSP is 3 by 4 1/2. I also have a 1/2 inch scrap, just a strip. And then I've got a couple of pieces of Melon Mambo and white to die cut with. So what I wanted to show you, this card's going to go this way. So it's going to be a landscape card, and this is going to end up being on here, and this will be on here. What I wanted to show you is there are various ways that you can use. I mean, clearly you can use a piece of DSP and you can put it right in the middle of your cardstock, and it can just be the whole show of your card, right? But sometimes in thinking outside the box, we don't think to cut it up and then flip it around and reuse it. So in this particular case, I'm going to move this out of the way here. Can you see what I've got going on? So in this particular case, I'm going to cut some strips, and they're not going to be the same width. Let's start with like a 1 inch. Let's cut that. And I want to keep them in order because I want to put them back together kind of the same way here. 1 inch, and then maybe a 1 1/2 inch. And then let's just eyeball cutting this one in about half. Okay. So what I can do is put these all back together. I should have just done 3, but that's okay. I'm going to flip one over. Let me move the cutter out of the way. There we go. And so I'm going to mount these back onto the black. And you can pick whichever side you like. And I think I'm going to flip this one. And I'm going to flip this one as well. Oh, I like that darker color. All right. So then we're going to glue this back together just like this. And that's going to kind of be the showpiece, or the, the pretty much the focal point of our whole card, is just using DSP. And it can do so much if you think about it and let it work for you. So many different things that the DSP is good for. Like I showed you earlier, using it in, I want to make sure I'm leaving like the same amount of room. Now we need to move these over a little bit. You know what? Let's just leave a little itty bitty bit in between. What am I doing here? This side, yes. You can put them back together completely. You can leave them. I'm just leaving a little bit of black in between them right now. We can always trim these down too, but I think I'm going to trim this down a bit. I think I left a little bit too much here. It'll be okay. Bring the trimmer back in and cut just a smidge off the bottom, because you can always fix stuff, Go. That looks better. And let's take just a little bit off of this edge too. There we go. What do you think? I think that looks better. All right, so then we're going to mount the black onto, you can always use dimensionals. I've gotten away from using as many dimensionals as I used to, just because the post office doesn't really like them so much, and they keep sending stuff back that needs more postage, and I'm not all about that. So let's see, we're going to use some, what are we going to use? Let's do a stamping a minute. We're going to stamp with our Melon Mambo. This is one of the couple. I only have 2 ink pads left to replace out of all of the colors that I have. Just 2, and I'm so very excited about that. I think I'm going to, let's just ink it up in the middle. I mean, stamp it in the middle. Ink it up, stamp in the middle. Perfect. And then this one, I've got You Are a True Blessing. This could, I think, be a Valentine card. I know Valentine's coming, and I haven't made a bunch of Valentine cards because I feel like a select group of people actually send Valentine cards. And although in the past I have made Valentines with my granddaughters so that they had some to take to school. Oh, we're going to use this on the bottom here too. Let's put that in too. I'm going to kind of eye up the length and glue it. Maybe I'm going to glue it. Come on. It's a little bit on the flimsy side to hold it like I was with the strip. So let's do it like this. Okay. And all the way to the bottom, I like it. All right. And we'll snip the back of that off. I've shown you this before too, but it's easiest to figure out where to snip it if you line the top blade up with the back of your cardstock and then just give it a snip. Okay, so then, let's see. Oh, I guess we can put this on here. I was going to do something with ribbon, but I remembered now that I don't need this off first. So for the most part, here's our image. Okay, and then we're going to cut this, and I haven't tried these yet, so let's see how it works. To bring in, I'm going to bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I've got both my number 3 plates. I've got a number, let's see, you can't see all that. I've got the number 1 platform, and I've got the number 2 for the thin dies, and then I've got a cutting plate. Like I've said before, I use one until I can't use it anymore. So this one's pretty chewed up at the moment, but it's still working. So that's good. And I've got the little one I'm going to put here. And then this one I'm going to put here. And I'm hoping that these are going to layer correctly. I have not tried this yet, but they looked like they might. So we'll try it and see. Move this out of the way. And here's the pieces. Oh yeah, I like it. Okay, perfect. Just what I had hoped, actually. All right, so we're going to put some glue on here. And with circles, it really doesn't matter that you get it straight because they're round, which is a good thing for me some days. Slide this down just a bit. All right. And then I was going to bring in some, this is, I have to read it, iridescent striped ribbon. And what I was going to do is just kind of give it a back and forth behind it. And I need the ribbon scissors because those paper scissors are not going to cut this. Let's do it this way. There we go. Put this out of the way. And let's see, how am I going to put this on? I'm going to put this on with some regular tape. I actually still use a tape runner very, very infrequently, so I really haven't replaced it yet. What's it called? The Stampin' Snail adhesive or something like that it was called. And I just haven't replaced it yet because I don't use it often enough, and I still have all these left. All right, so we're going to put, so you saw that I put the adhesive on the back of the pink first, right? And that didn't hold both layers down, so I'm going to add another layer of this on top. And I want it to be offset just a bit. Okay. For this one, I did the same rectangular shaped piece of DSP. I did the different sized widths, and then I flipped just the center one. And maybe that's what I should have done with the pink one too that we just did, but that's okay. It's all in this one I used some black baker's twine, and I made a bow and left the bow behind the banner, the greeting. That's pretty much all I have for you for today's Stamping 301, which is using DSP. There are so many uses, I couldn't possibly bring them all to you. And I keep remembering more, so that's always an issue too. I'm sure I'll have another chance to bring you some more ideas. Oh, here's something. If you try this, let me know in the comments that you tried it and maybe post a photo. of your project. But I have done DSP kind of like what I did here today. And then when I have it on just like the white cardstock as the base, or it doesn't matter, I could have done it with the black too, and then run the whole thing through an embossing folder and then put it on your card. It looks really cool. It looks like a quilted effect. So it's really cool. Anyway, comment if you try it, because and maybe I'll bring one back at some point. Next week is the February sketch, so watch on Monday and I will post what the sketch will be, and then make sure to come back on Wednesday to watch the video of how I use the sketch. We already talked about the promotions going on right now. If you are local to the Cedar Springs or Grand Rapids, Michigan area, I would love for you to join us for an in-person class. We do in-person classes the third Monday of every month. And the best place to find out the information and what we're working on is in the newsletter. So if you're not already subscribed, please do so. There is always a link to, I have two different class time options. One's at 3 o'clock and one's at 6 o'clock in the evening. So be sure to get subscribed to the newsletter if you aren't already. It'll take you to there are links that I put in the newsletter that'll take you to the registration portal on my demonstrator website. The other place to watch for information is on Facebook, on the Facebook page, Stampin' on the Hill. And until next time, thanks for watching.